But taken with the newfound supplement, my divine medicine will lengthen your majesty's life for thousands and thousands of years." Since the king, however, did not understand at all what medical supplement the Taoist was referring to, he pressed for an explanation. Then the royal father-in-law said, "I have noticed that the monk who has been sent by the land of the East to seek scriptures is possessed of pure and orderly features. They reveal that he has, in fact, a true body which has practiced religion for at least 10 incarnations, and that he has been a monk since childhood. He is, in truth, someone who has never dissipated his original young, someone 10,000 times better than all those little boys put together. If you can get his heart to make soup and take my divine medicine, you will certainly acquire the age of 10,000 years." Believing completely what he had heard, the befuddled ruler said, "Why didn't you tell us sooner? If it had that kind of efficacy, I would have detained him just now and not let him go." "But that's not difficult," said the royal father-in-law. "Just now the court of imperial entertainments was told to prepare a vegetarian meal for him. He will undoubtedly eat first before leaving the city. Issue an edict right now for all the city gates to be closed. Call up the troops, have the Golden Pavilion postal station surrounded, and tell them to bring back the monk. First, ask for his heart politely. If he agrees, cut him up and take it out at once. You may promise him an imperial burial and a shrine erected in his honor, so that he may enjoy perpetual sacrifice. If he does not comply with your request, we'll show him the ugly power of force. Tie him up at once, and then cut out his heart. Isn't that easy?" The befuddled ruler indeed followed his suggestion. He gave the decree at once that the city gates should be shut. The imperial guards and their captains were sent to have the postal station surrounded. When Pilgrim heard this, he spread his wings and darted back to the postal station and changed back to his true form to say to the Tang monk, "Master, disaster! Disaster!" Tripitaka was just enjoying the imperial banquet with 8 rules and Sha monk. These sudden words so terrified him that the spirits of 3 cadavers left him and smoke poured out of his 7 apertures. He fell to the ground at once, his body covered with sweat. All he could do was roll his eyeballs. He could not utter a word. Sha monk hurried forward to take hold of him, crying, "Master, wake up! Master, wake up! What disaster? What disaster?" asked 8 rules. "Speak slowly, will you please? Must you frighten Master like that? Since Master left the court," replied Pilgrim. Old Monkey stayed behind and ascertained that that royal father-in-law was indeed a monster spirit. Soon afterward, the commander of 5 military commissions reported that the cold wind had blown away the little boys. The king was frustrated, but the Taoist told him to be happy instead, saying that it was actually heaven's gift of long life to him. He wanted to ask for Master's heart to be the medical supplement, something he claimed would grant the king an age of 10,000 years. Believing such a perverse suggestion, the befuddled ruler called up his troops to come and surround the postal station. Moreover, the embroidered uniform guards have been sent here to ask for Master's heart. "You have exercised marvelous compassion," said 8 rules with a laugh. "You have saved marvelous boys. You have called up marvelous cold wind. But this time you have also brought disaster on us." Trembling all over, Tripitaka scrambled up to tug at Pilgrim and plead with him. "O worthy disciple! How will we face this? If you want to face this," said Pilgrim, "the old must become the young." "What do you mean by that?" asked Sha monk. Pilgrim said, "If you want to preserve your life, the master will have to become the disciple, and the disciple will have to become the master. If you can save my life," said Tripitaka, "I'm willing to be your disciple and grand disciple." "In that case," said Pilgrim, "no need to hesitate any longer. 8 rules, hurry and get me some mud." Idiot immediately used his muckrake to rake up some dirt. Not daring, however, to go outside to fetch water, he hitched up his clothes instead and pissed on the ground. With the urine he managed to mix a lump of stinking mud, which he handed to Pilgrim. Pilgrim, too, had little alternative but to flatten the mud and press it on his own face and, after a little while, succeeded in making an ape-like mask. Asking the Tang monk to stand up but without uttering another word, Pilgrim pasted the mask on his master's face and recited a magic spell. He then blew his immortal breath onto the mask, crying, "Change." At once, the elder took on the appearance of Pilgrim. He was told to take off his own garments and switch clothes with Pilgrim, who made the magic sign and then recited another spell to change into the form of the Tang monk. The two of them looked so alike their own true selves that even Eight Rules and Sha Monk could not distinguish them. As soon as they finished dressing, they heard the sounds of gongs and drums and saw a forest of scimitars and lances approaching. The captains of the Imperial Guards, you see, had arrived with 3,000 troops to have the postal station surrounded. Then an embroidered uniform guard walked into the courtyard to ask, "Where is the elder from the Tang court in the land of the East?" Shaking and quaking, the station master went to his knees and said, pointing with his finger, "In one of those guest rooms down there." The guard walked to the guest room and said, "Elder Tang, my king invites you to the palace." While Eight Rules and Sha Monk stood on two sides to guard the false pilgrim, the false Tang monk came out the door and bowed, saying, "Sir Embroidered Uniform, what does His Majesty have to say when he asks for this poor cleric?" Rushing forward to grab him, the guard replied, "I'll go with you into court. He must have some use for you. Also, so it is that fiendish lies triumph o'er compassion. Compassion's met instead with violence. We do not know what will happen to his life when he leaves. Let's listen to the explanation in the next chapter.